Hello guys and welcome to part 5 of my walkthrough quote-unquote series. So this is where I just try to walk you through a free-to-play account and what kind of things you should be looking for as you go through it. Honestly, it's just so much sometimes. In case you guys haven't noticed, sometimes I get a little fucking all over the place because there's honestly so much information, you know. First things first, let's pull this ancient here. I'm gonna go back to only pulling on stream. I did pull a couple ancients off stream. I apologize for that, but you know it was on the weekend where the times two event was still going on. But I'm not gonna record all the time. I have certain schedules that I try to keep to. I have a wife that I want to make sure I enjoy and have my own time with her, and so I gotta stick to my schedule. So in order to happy wife is happy life, right? Right, my love. Yes. And we get her. I don't know who the hell she is. I actually don't remember her at all. All right, let's see what she does. Attacks one enemy, has a 25% chance of placing a stun debuff for one turn. And that can be buffed to 50%. Fuck. Has a 100% chance of placing a 5% poison on all enemies for 2 turns. That's kind of interesting. An AoE poison. Attacks all enemies, then heals this champion by the amount the amount by which this champion is healed is equal to the damage inflicted. That's kind of interesting. So this is a 3 turn and this is a 4 turn. And ally speed in arena by 16%. This isn't horrible. Again, I'm not going to use it, but she's not like the worst rare in the world, you know? Alright, so let's see what we got here. You again. Oh, I pulled this guy from the what do you call it? From some of the ancients that I told you about earlier. So let's look at him real quick. Attack one enemy, fills this champion's turn meter by 20% if this attack is critical. So that's nice because it pretty much automatically starts boosting him for the next turn. Attacks one enemy, literally garbage, like fucking useless. Alright. Heals this champion by 10% of his max HP when he inflicts a critical hit. So every time he gets a critical hit, he gets healed. Heals all allies by 10% of his max HP when he inflicts a critical hit. So pretty much, whenever he hits someone with a critical hit, he'll heal everyone by 10% of his max HP. So the reason that can be very valuable is because it's dependent on one person's max HP. Okay? I can't think of one off the top of my head, but other healers... Oh, I can actually. Give me a second. Is this bitch over here? Where is she? Hello. Okay. Target ally by 20% of their max HP. Heals all allies except the target 10% of the target's max HP. Oh, by that targets. Actually, maybe this one's not too bad either, but it's not as good. So the reason that... Fucker... Where's this little... Alright, there he is. Alright, the reason this is so good is because you can just put a bunch of HP on him, and then 10% of his max... Let's say you get his HP to 80%. I mean, to 80,000. Fuck me. Alright. So 10% of 80,000 is what? 8,000? And then let's just look at, for example, my Kale right now. He's only at 25,000. So 8,000 of that is way more than 10%. Does that make sense? That's almost a third. It's about a third. It's about 33% of his HP. So compared to healing Kale for 10% of his, which would only be 2,500, it heals for 8,000. So you can see how it's better to scale it off one specific person. That is sorry. Sorry, he also has an increased ally defense in dungeons by 33%, which is pretty fucking fat, actually. I did not know that. So that's one of the reasons he's kind of considered decent. As you can see here, he has some decent ratings. By the way, just a side note, even though I'm showing you this is fucking trash. It's like absolutely useless. I'm actually curious. You see, for example, this asshat has 4 point something ratings. Yeah, no, don't use him. He's stupid. I'm curious about other people. So like, as you can see, some people don't take this seriously when they're rating shit. But anyways, so just wanted to point out that I got Brask. I'm yawning like fucking crazy. I think he's new. She might be new too. Yeah, let's pull them out real quick. Horden, I don't remember. I know there was a scandal with him, because apparently a player tried to sell him. Essentially, he was a part of a pack, the only champion to ever be part of a pack, and you could buy him for $50 along with some other bullshit. But yeah, so he's kind of famous for that in the raid community. If I could be wrong, but I think it was him. All right, attacks one enemy 2 times, grants an extra turn if the target is killed. That's actually not horrible. That's pretty decent. Attacks one enemy, has a 60% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Heals the champion by 10% of the damage inflicted. Not horrible, but it's single target. Places a 50% increase attack, 30% increase crit rate, and 30% increase attack speed. Sorry, on this champion for 2 turns. Grants an extra turn. So this is pretty good, but again, all of this is self-targeting, so that's kind of an issue. And ally speed, faction, crit by 20%. So essentially, he's not horrible or anything like that, but it's just everything is single, so it's only on him, you know? And he only targets one person. So, like, his abilities on their own are actually not bad, but they all are only single targets, so that's what makes him less valuable compared to most other people. Alright, let's see Luria. I always get mixed things about her, that she's not horrible, that she is, whatever. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 60% decrease debuff, or a 100% heal reduction, or a 30% decrease speed debuff for 2 turns. And you could, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. And you can book that to 75%. This is not bad, but again, single target. But you're pretty much fucking them up in one way, but remember it's only 75%. Attacks all enemies, that's already better than Horden. Has a 50% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. Enemies killed by the skill cannot be revived. This is actually pretty fucking nice. And it's a 75%. So AoE freeze, which is nice. And if they're killed, the skill, you know, they can't be rezzed, which is very valuable. So this isn't a bad ability. This actually could be useful against Ice Golem, because that asshole rezzes his fucking minions. Attacks one enemy, removes all buffs. Also has an 80% chance of placing. Fuck. God damn it. It's the fucking battle of the yawns. Alright, placing a block debuff for 2. Alright, so this one, honestly, this is the only real nice ability. I don't know if it hits hard or not, because that's something that you got to understand about this game, is that, yeah, you'll see an AoE, but maybe it doesn't, the scalers for it is shit, and then sometimes the scalers for it is ridiculous. So you'll never know until you test it out yourself or look someone up that has. Anyways, those are the epics that I pulled while I wasn't on recording. I'm not gonna use any of that. Let me see. Let's put those ass hats back in. And let's do something with our War Maiden. Okay. Let's up her skills. So right now I'm working on the skills. So this actually would be a good time. I actually don't have much to talk about because we're at a point in the game where it's just about grinding, right? So I might as well talk to you guys about the different things you need to do while you're grinding your day-to-day in a game. So one thing is skill books. You can get skill books in a few different ways. Some come through rewards from events. They come through rewards from challenges. That, you know, you can get them through your daily. Oh, how fucking funny is that? Alright, well, there you go. Let's put it on her as well. And when you get your skill books, however you get them, one thing you want to make sure you're doing is the rare skill books go with the rares. Epics go with epics. Legendaries go with legendaries. One thing I did when I first started is I threw all this shit on my starter. I threw the legendaries on my starter as well. I don't know what I was going through in my fucking little brain. I don't know if I was under the impression, you know, I can't remember. It's been over a year that I started this game. But I can't remember. I was under the impression that I could just fuse a bunch of rares to make a legendary later anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. Whatever. It was fucking stupid. So one thing you're going to want to make sure you understand is that some people have different skills that you may or may not want booked. Okay, for example, this attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of placing a 2.5% poison debuff for 1 turn. This is not something I give a shit about. So I don't care if she gets books here, right? All right, this one attacks one enemy, places 50%. I also don't care about this one. So this is the one I care about. This is what makes her her money right here. This is the reason she's useful and viable to many people, even upwards to like I want to say low gold even. Attacks all enemies, has 100% when you book it, of placing a 60% decreased debuff for 2 turns. That's perfect. So you want this skill booked. You want the debuff chance so that you get it to 100%, and you want that cooldown so it's every 3 turns, right? The issue is, and you're seeing it right here, is that it depends on luck. It's all luck based. So unfortunately, I ended up rolling 3 times on A1, which is kind of useless to me, right? So you want to be aware of that so that as you book her, you know, you see where it goes. And if it gets to where you want it, stop, right? Obviously, as you get bigger, if you're a whale, if you buy a bunch of books, all that bullshit, then obviously by then you can do whatever the hell you want. But if you're trying to be frugal with your books, you want to make sure you are being very careful with that. Don't get me wrong, I've had bad luck. Some of my friends know I have a Viz on my main account, and he has one very useful ability, and the other two are whatever. That's not what his bread and butter is, just like her. And they went everywhere but there. Okay, so just make sure you understand that there are some cases where you do not want to fully book your champion, and I'm going to show you a very popular one that some people argue about it, but I personally think that you don't want to book. So you want to book his A1 here because you want his poisons to land on the clan boss. He's a clan boss champion, right? Attacks one enemy. That's whatever. We already talked about that. We don't care. And has a 50% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. So you want to try and get this extra 10% to make it 60 because it's just more useful and more viable. But you don't want this. This is just a massive ability. I'm not even going to go over it that much, but it has some perks depending on how much he is poisoned or debuffed. And the cooldown, you can drop it to 3 turns. You actually don't want this because usually you're going to want him for clan boss. And in clan boss, you want his A1 to land. You want this ability to hit. So obviously if the cooldown lands here, that's every 3 turns he's going to do this instead of one of these, right? Now, obviously, this doesn't matter if you're manualing, but at the end of the day, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have the fucking patience to manual clan boss fights that can last up to 8 minutes, 10 minutes even, you know? So you got to make your team auto-friendly, at least if you can, if it's possible. He also has a good passive that kept him in my vault for a long time. So make sure you guys are paying attention here. Look, places 2.5% poison debuff on this champion for 4 turns at the start of his turn. So that right there stopped me from using him, and I just ignored the fuck out of him. But he's actually really, really good because this doesn't do much damage or anything, and you have this ability to cleanse it off. Okay? So as long as you have a good, healer or someone to help you, he's fine. And you put lifesteal on him. But has a 70% chance of placing 5% debuff, poison debuff on a random enemy for 4 turns. Now, the fact that this is random doesn't mean shit when you're fighting the clan boss, right? So that means you get a poison every turn from this, and then a poison every turn from this, assuming it lands. So that's potentially 2 poisons every single turn. So that's why he is one of the best poisoners in the game for clan boss. Don't get me wrong, there are better now. There's a new rare that also does it very well. But I'm going to save that for another video because I actually want to see if I can do a clan boss focused video. It might not be on this account because this account doesn't have enough to go on. I might have to do it on my main account where I have most of the champions already leveled. Something else that my wife is the one that told me this, because I was trying to figure out what to make this video on, and it's already 13 minutes long, which is me babbling about stupid shit. But anyways, so when you get it to this point right here where there's really not much I can do, I need to wait to build shards up, I need to wait for this, I need to wait for that. All you can do is pick a focus, right? So first things first, try and focus on your dailies, at least get to this energy and the silver. And do your daily quests, because as you do them 30 times, you'll get this monthly done, and that's a sacred and a void, and these are the most valuable shards, and they're the hardest to get. Plus, obviously, as you do your weekly, which actually we're going to get that shard today. So we're going to go through a daily thing together, and so I can show you what you should be doing at the minimum on a day-to-day. So right now, I'm just going to attack 5 people. The good thing about this is you don't have to fucking win, thank God. Because sometimes you're getting a bunch of bullshit, man. And I feel you guys, all you newer players, What's happening is sometimes you guys are dealing with some really strong ass people that gave up on the game. For whatever reason they gave up, they don't want to play anymore, so they drop down. So for example, this guy is not a bronze 1 player, right? You can clearly see that, but he probably gave up cuz the grind was too much, right? And I understand that some people just can't handle that, but you got to understand this game is a grind. It is a huge grind. So if you're not a grinding person, if you're not okay with working hard for your results, whether you pay money or not, you have to grind. Okay, that's something people don't understand. There's no substitute for grinding. And just for the record, paying money doesn't mean shit, right? So, because I've seen some accounts that paid no money and have some of the best legendaries in the game. I've seen some accounts that have paid thousands of dollars and they still don't have, some of the champions I have for much less, right? All right, so obviously you're going to try to focus on people you can beat. Right now, this is 4 level 50s. I doubt I can beat it. Don't look at the team power so much because it doesn't mean as much, It doesn't matter. I've made videos on Arena before, or at least my Arena. But yeah, I'm just kind of looking around to see if there's anything I could fight. Unfortunately, since I have a really weenie-ass team, I'm pretty much looking for anything that doesn't have a 6-star. Or 4 or 5 stars. Or 4 level 50s, I mean. Because KO by himself could take pretty much any level 40. Or a whole team of 40s. I could have probably used it by itself, as you saw. Alright, so that was number 3. Let's see. This one might be doable. See, their power's higher than mine. Let's see how it works. Oh, shit. She's faster than me. That's interesting. Alright, so we got 2 down. She's going to res one of them. Of course, she reses the lane. Alright, they're all low. So, as long as KO gets to beat the shit out of them. Oh, she's still alive. Mind you, these guys have no real gear or anything. So, as you saw there, and this is exactly why power doesn't matter. I mean, granted, it's not like it was a big discrepancy. Remember, yes, they have 2, 50s and 2 40s as opposed to mine where I have a 30 even. And theirs are ascended and all that kind of shit. But my KO's a level 60. So, he's going to beat the shit out of most level 40s regardless of gear. I mean, regardless of power, unless they got good gear, which at this level they probably won't. Not impossible, of course. You can get good gear. So, alright, so pretty much that's what this is. This is a grind. I'm actually going to leave all this in. You're going to see this entire fucking boringness. Fuck it. Why not? So, yeah, you see her. She has 25,000 power by herself. So, that's why power doesn't matter. Because, as you can see, she won't beat the shit out of me, apparently. And you got to remember, her 25,000 power from one champion is better than my 32,000 across 4 champions, right? So again, multiple reasons why power doesn't mean shit. All right, let's get through this. Summon 3. Let's just do that real quick. Now, I started this a couple minutes before the reset, so that rare that I opened didn't count for this. But this is so simple. Just opening 3 of those, doing 5 arena battles, which, by the way, you do not have to win, right? And you just, at the very minimum, if you can't play too much, you can at least do this. This shouldn't take you more than like 10 minutes. All right, so let's do this real quick just because I know it's in there. That's another thing. The dailies are pretty much always the same. So it's going to be level 3 times at least. Yeah, increase champions level in tavern 3 times. Let's go to equipment. Let's see. I'm trying to avoid ranking up 4-star gear. I did get this. I bought this from the market, actually. So, as you notice here, it has 3% one. So, I decided to pick that up because I can at least get it to level 12. And it should have some decent substats for me because they're all good substats. Alright, and it went on defense, which is probably the better one to have it on. Let's check the market. Buy an ancient shard. Always buy shards from here. It's always good to have a good stock of ancients on hand. I mean, of mysteries. So summon 3, increase the level, boom. Make 4 artifact upgrade attempts, purchase something from the market. You see how easy that is? The only one that's going to ever change is this one on the bottom. It's going to say win campaign battles 7 times or beat 3 campaign bosses. Alright, so let's just go here. I can't quite farm where I want to farm, and that brings me to my next point. You always want to try and farm the best stage you can, and you want to farm either stage 3 or stage 6. Stage 6 has the best experience, but stage 3 you can win shields, which is a better bang for your buck. So let's do something real quick. So, because I might as well make this valuable in more than one way. Let's start leveling up our girl here, because we're going to be using her a little bit. As you can see, I'm already investing her. So let's level her to 4 stars with some food that I had made already. And let's start level grinding her. There are 2 ways you can do this. Both ways don't mean shit. It's fine. So you can either just level her by yourself and she'll gain a lot more experience, because the experience is divided amongst whatever you have. So if you get 20,000, then it's going to be 10 and 10. If you get 4 people here, then it's going to be 5, 5, 5, 5. Even though he's full, it doesn't matter. 5,000 or whatever amount is going to go to him, and it is wasted. So there's nothing you can do about it. That's why it's better you only have 1 champion instead of like multiple maxed out. All right, so let's do that. Oh, I just realized I have to put her away at some point. All right, let's just do that, and I'm going to use my autos here. Let's just use 7. 7 times 8 is 56, so that will also count for the 50 energy that you have to waste, right? Because it's asking you to waste at least 50 energy. So as far as campaign farming, you are always going to have a decent campaign farmer from the very beginning, because any of the starters are viable campaign farmers, okay? Some are better than others, of course, but they're all very useful. As you can see, Kale's getting through this with shitty gear. You know, it's going to take him a little bit longer than obviously a better built Kale or a Bellower or someone else you can get, but he's going to get the job done. So 30 seconds, that's not too bad. All right, so we got that going. So you always want to use your starter. That's the first one you want to max. If you did not pick Kale, that is fine. If you picked any of the other ones, including Gallic, fuck you guys that always bully me for picking Gallic. But yeah, Gallic is made fun of because he is the worst, and he kind of is. I can't lie about it. He's probably the worst starter, but he is still viable. I've used him just fine. He does fine. But yeah, just put some crit rate on them. Put him in lifesteal. Oh, I fucking lost. Kale, don't be a little bitch. Being a little. Hey. Thank you. Alright, so as you can see right here, Kale's an asshole. But it's mostly because of those Draco morphs, because they fucking hurt. I'm gonna have to pick a different stage just because the Draco morphs really fuck me up. But you know, that's the thing. Your goal is to get 100% success rate with your farmer. Obviously, I don't have enough good gear. I need to farm some dragon, which I'm going to do, you know, throughout the week, hopefully. And next time I hop on, I should have some better gear for him, hopefully. But I'm not quite where I want to be on dragon. So I need to start making my 5 stars. And that's the other thing. There are 2 distinctive ways you can go in this game. See, look at all those poisons can fuck me up. So that's what happens right there. Alright, let's go to a different stage. Yeah, because this one has the 2 Dracos in it. So let's just do stage 2. That's the one I was actually doing on my time. So we need 6 more wins. So let me see, what was I going to say? I apologize. I'm fucking all over the place. But yeah, so your farmer, you're going to want crit rate, crit damage, and some defense and HP, you know, speed, all the basic shit. You're gonna need all that. Now you don't need accuracy for your farmer, but obviously since in my case, Kale's also going to be my clan boss, you know, one of my clan boss champions for a while, as well as arena, as well as everywhere fucking else. That's what makes Kale so useful. You're gonna want to put accuracy on him because he has poisons to land. So if they have a debuff you want to land and everything like that, you're definitely gonna want to add. Did I fuck up? Didn't I do this? Or was it on one that I lost again? And that's the other thing. Right now I'm doing this on brutal, but if you just wanted to blitz this because you don't care about leveling someone, you could just go to normal, stage 1, just do 6 of those, 7 of those, I mean, and you can get that part done that way. But obviously you won't get your 50 because it'll be less energy spent. Fucking Draco. Yeah, I think from here I'm going to cut it out and I'll meet you guys back at the end. Alright, and we're back. So, I did my last 4 here and that should get us everything yeah, there it is. It pops up. I normally don't like doing cuts on these. I like to just let you see all the fucking dumb shit I do, but that was a little bit too long, I think, on something this tedious. Alright, so we did our dailies. You always want to do, every single day, do your dailies. Even if you don't have a lot of time to play the game a little more seriously, do your dailies, because each day, you know, when you get to 5, you get an ancient right here, right? And then every 30, you're going to get, you know, these, and those are just too valuable to ignore. Alright, so let's see what we got. First, let's pull these real quick, because you can get a rare, and at this point in the game, you're actually okay with getting rare still. Alright, nothing really. Nothing to write home about. So let's pull our ancient. Oh, that gives us out 100 out of 100. That's funny. Alright, let's see who we get. This guy, Bone Keeper. I mean, Bone Knight. What the fuck? Where the fuck did I get Keeper from? God, I'm a stupid. Alright, I'm a stupid. Alright. Attacks one enemy 2 times and has a 15% chance of placing a 15% weaken debuff for 2 turns. This is the weak version of weaken. The strong one, I think, is 25%, I believe, or 30, something like that. Okay, it's not about an A1 for a rare. Attacks one enemy, has 80% chance of placing 100%. This could be good for Spirit Keep. Attacks all enemies, places a 15% increase crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns. Okay, so this isn't too bad or anything like that. Damn, this is 2 turns. Yeah, so if you don't have someone to work on Spirit Keep, because since she heals all the time, you can use him for that if you wanted to. But aside from that, he's not really useful anywhere else. Yeah. Even the ratings show that, as you can see here. Spirit Keep, firing out a little bit just because he also heals himself. But aside from that, he's pretty much useless. Faction Wars, I guess, but I disagree with that. Alright. So, my main thing was to tell you guys what you should do on the daily. So, aside from dailies, when you're in this position that I'm in right now, where I have really nothing to do. I'm kind of stuck in the story, right? I beat Brutal, but I can't quite 3-star yet. I don't have enough strength. And I can't quite do Nightmare yet because it's way too difficult and I don't have enough energy, really. So what do you do to make your champion stronger? What do you do on your off time? How do you farm? And how do you create food, right? So what you're going to want to do is kind of what I was already showing you. Oh, wrong one. So you're going to want to go to the best stage you can with your farmer, right? And in this case, it would be that. And then what you'd want to do is just grab a couple 2-stars and then farm them to 20. And one of the cool things is you can do this and continue multi-battles even when all max are level. You don't want this one done when you're farming for food because then it'll just waste turns if it's full. But the other thing is you can edit queue and then you can add other people that you want to get leveled afterwards. So take advantage of your 30 multis. After you're done with your dailies, if you want, do your multi-battles, put it on overnight or some bullshit, or do it while you're watching a program with your wife. That's what I do. So I just throw my multis so that way I don't have to look at it for a while, and then I watch some TV with my wife or play a video game, like a real one, not a mobile. So I do that sometimes, and that'll, boom, when you're done, you have a couple foods, you rank them up, and that's what I did here. Let me show you. I think I ate them, but yeah, so it's like this guy, obviously he's a 2-star, he's an uncommon, but I made him a 3-star, so now he's 3-star food. And then that's how you make food. And you gotta, you know, I'm sorry, this is the grind, so it's gonna be a lot of that, doing that. Okay, so that's one way you should use your energy. And then you should try and make a group of 50s. Oh, I think that's what I was trying to say earlier, but I got cut off by my own yawn or some bullshit. Some people, what they do is they make a team of level 50s first, and then they try and make a level 60. I personally go a little different. I actually make my level 60 first, and then I'm gonna make a team of level 50s around them. So now I have some useful people. Because what happens is they start making Shaman 50 and Jizzo 50, and then whatever random shit they get 50. I've seen people make their uncommon and the Helium Girl 50 and everything, and it's not really worth it. I say make one level 50 that you can use with your starter. And then when you're ready to make your food, eat that 50. So make it someone somewhat useful, but not like someone you're going to keep. So my next 50 is actually going to be Tayrell. So right now I need to make 4-star food. And none of these are useful since I said on this account I'm going to try and keep everyone. By the way, let's also throw our rares in the vault here. And let's make sure I don't have any doubles because I don't pay attention. So this guy, okay. Oh, that's right. He was a double. So right now, this is my little pool. Some of these are going to be useful later. Some of them are never going to be useful, and they can fuck right off. But I'm keeping them so that I, prove a point to you guys. So another thing you may want to do, and I'm doing it prematurely. You shouldn't really be doing this yet, but it is what it is you want to get to at least stage 10 of Dragon and farm 4 to 5 star gear. And let's go over the gears. And I think that'll be where I end this one. Actually, no, I'll do that in the next one. I might as well make a gear centric episode a more gear centric one. But either way, you're going to want to farm at least Dragon. And you're going to want to get to at least here so you can get rid of the potential of getting 3 stars. Because you don't want 3 stars at all. 4 stars you'd rather not get, but at the beginning, you're at the beginning of the game, you need some fucking gear. So if you get 4 star, I recommend getting it to 12. That's what you guys have seen me be doing. As you can see, I'm not doing any of my 4 star. This is the only one because I needed the speed. But otherwise, I try to avoid that. So these guys are only going to get their gear up to 12 until I get 5 stars that are worth it. So, and this one, the only reason I'm not going to go further, even though it's a 5 star, is because it's a common piece and I know it's going to be less useful later. Okay, so that's just some of my recommendations. What was he pointing at? But yeah, so you're going to want to focus on some Dragon, and you're going to want to focus on some potions to ascend your champions. So let's see if we actually have any force. So for example, we have her at force. So I'm not really focusing on her too much because this is so fucking tedious. And I'd rather focus on Tyrell, to be honest with you, since he's going to be someone I use all the way to the end. And if you have no idea if you're going to use the champion all the way to the end, you can make your own personal decision, of course, based on, how you feel. But some people feel a certain way just because, for example, her, when you guys get her, you start like, oh, damn, she's pretty good. I'm like, of course she is. She's your first epic. Usually she'll be your first epic. And obviously her stats are going to be better than most of the rares you get. So she's going to do well for you in arena, aside from the bullshit teams that I told you earlier about. And you're gonna get a misconstrued vision of her as like really useful when she's not quite that useful. So if you doubt yourself, feel free to look it up. Just don't be upset if you don't know off the top of your head. Look it up. Look it up on YouTube. Ask friends that are higher up in the game. If you're in a clan, ask them. Some of the higher ups that are more experienced could help you out. I tend to ask my friends as well, in case I didn't know. Obviously, I've been playing for a year, so at this point, I don't need them too much for that anymore. But I still ask their help all the time and get their opinion. Sometimes they see something I didn't. Okay, so you're gonna want to do that. Start building a team, and you're gonna want to build different teams. One for arena, one for dungeons. Different dungeons may need different heroes, so it's gonna spread a lot. So you're gonna want to fucking. It's a lot of shit, man. So you're gonna see me progress, and that's how hopefully you'll understand a little bit more of what you may want to do. So right now, my main focus. Hopefully, the next time I see you guys, he'll be at least a 5 star, and maybe. No, fuck it. So he'll be a 5 star, and these two will be 4 star, and maybe I'll start building a little bit of a team with that. And I will not be pulling any ancients or above unless I'm on recording. I'm streaming. But I will be pulling my mystery. So if I get any rares like that, I apologize if I forget to tell you about them because rares are fairly insignificant to me. But so if any of these guys are new to you, I apologize for not talking about them. Most of them, in my opinion, are pretty useless. They're just there in case you get a fusion champion or something. Alright, I think I'm going to leave this here. I'm sorry if it was all over the fucking place. It's just my fucking brain, man. I have so much information I want to give you guys, and sometimes it gets away from me. But anyways, if you guys have any questions or have anything that you want me to cover, please let me know. I would love to, have more focused videos. My next one might be gear and talking about all the different gears. And then maybe I'll start trying to see if I can start tackling some dungeons on my own so that I can start going over the dungeons and telling you what kind of champions you need for each one, if possible. Anyways, with that being said, I think I'll leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, feel free to let me know. If you didn't enjoy it, feel free to let me know that too, because I would like to get better. Have a great one.